Mhm.
Happy day.
Ooh.
Yes, yes, yes. Happy day. I am Erica Kesse. I'm a love force with mysterious wisdom, celebrating life, and I'm so happy to be here with Eternity, who is conducting a webinar tomorrow. So we're going to chat a little bit about, just the reason for the webinar and what she'll be sharing, and a little bit about her story. But first, let's introduce her. Hello, Eternity. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. I am Eternity Sledge, also known as the multifaceted Black girl. I am a little bit of everything. I dabble in a lot of different places, but today I'm here to talk about the Multifaceted Collective, which is a community for women entrepreneurs, especially young women who are between the ages of 18 and 25, who have a lot going on. They're a little chaotic. They're trying to figure out what to do next. They're trying to get out of that chaos and build purpose-driven empires. And so I bring them in and I give them the skills and the tools needed and the resources and community to be able to get to that next level.
Oh, wow, Eternity. Thank you so much for sharing about yourself. And welcome, 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 viewers. Please let us know who you are. We'd love to know who's here with us. Happy day to you. So let's go deeper. Eternity, can you tell us about your name? Your business is called the Multifaceted Collective. Can you tell us about that? Tell us about what caused you to have that business? What brought this on?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times I had been kind of forced to be in a box where people be like, no, you can't do all these different things. You have to focus on one thing. And that never really fit with me. I've always been somebody who would dabble in a lot of different things. I might not be the expert at one specific thing at one specific time, but I'm good at all the different pieces and parts. And I really like solving those problems. And so I just realized there's not a lot of people who are in my support system who are similar to me. And I wanted to be able to build that community, not just for myself, but other women like me who do not have access to that support system of people who are encouraging them to be different, encouraging them to not be in that box, step outside that box and to create these empires. And then also me being so young, so many people try to say, you got time, slow down. And that's not really what I need. I really need more of people who are like, hey, well, what do you need in order to get to that goal that you're working so hard to reach? And so I want to create this community and bring in people who need that support and give it to them because I didn't have it for myself.
Okay, awesome. Wow. So, um, you finding yourself having a lack of community. How does that feel to feel or to have that lack of community? Just speaking to people who will be interested in knowing more about you and what you are offering. Tell us more about that woman, that lady, that multifaceted girly.
Yeah, so I went to school I started college in a very small town in Texas where not a lot of people go and a lot of people actually avoid it. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of people avoid that town and I was really excited to go to that university. I'm like, the school is so pretty. They have the major that I wanted. I was a biomedical engineer on the pre-med track. I was really audacious. And when I got there, it was 7% Black. So it already wasn't a lot of people who looked like me, and I came from a neighborhood where almost everybody is Black. So going into such a non-diverse scene was not the best option for me. It was not very comfortable. I felt very out of place. And although I had a couple of people who I can lean on, a couple of friends that I was cool with, it made it hard to keep going with my journey. It made it hard to figure out who I truly was as a person because I was surrounded by people who didn't care about me. And then being an engineer and on a pre-med track, a lot of times I was the only girl in the class or the only Black person in the class. And the only person who would really connect with me was the teacher. Like I had a girl, it was only one girl that was in some of my classes, and she would walk past me on campus and act like she didn't know who I was. And we were the only two girls in some of my classes. So it was a lot of loneliness that I had to deal with, even being in such a big university with so many different people around me. And I still felt by myself. And that was really hard to deal with. It led to a lot of solitude. kind of amplified a couple of mental issues that I was dealing with. It was just really hard, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
Wow. So during your webinar that you're going to have, which is called Dare to, what is it?
Dare to dream audaciously.
Dare to Dream Audaciously. You're going to share a little bit more about that story that that, great story of conflict that turns into being a victorious story of where you are now, and someone who understands the importance of creating a community around people in order to fulfill all of those dreams and all of those ideas that come up into yourself, and then have a community around you. So, other than having a lack of community, what what else did you feel, or what else was there for you?
So at some point, I started to feel stuck. I felt like I was in college because it was just what you were supposed to do. I was there because that's what my parents said I would do. People always tell me like, "Oh, we know you're going to be fine." Like I did really good on my ACT. I think I had like a 34 super score. The highest you could get is 36. So I was just so intelligent that people pushed college on me as like requirement. It was like, why wouldn't you go to college? And so I was there trying to become a doctor, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to be a doctor. I don't even like needles. Blood makes me nauseous. So I don't know how me and my family expected me to survive in a hospital, but it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I don't know why I'm here anymore, and I need to figure out what I'm gonna do. And so I actually ended up withdrawing from my university for a little bit. And I started working, and I'm gonna dive a little bit more into that story tomorrow during my webinar. I would love for people to come out, but it just was really confusing of being so young and being in a space where there are so many other people who don't know what's going on with their lives. And then there's that small group who are like, oh, I know I'm gonna be a lawyer. I know I'm gonna be a doctor. And I was like, just vibing. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna be, but I know that I'm gonna be great because I don't have a choice but to be great. And it's just, yeah, it's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of trying to figure out who I was as a person. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first you said there was a lack of community, being around, surrounded by people who were not talking with you, people who didn't look like you, people who it was a transition from what you've known, and then you also felt stuck in being in circumstances that are not feeling like that's where you need to be, but you're going along with what was set forth or what you said, or you thought that you wanted, or were maybe conditioned to say that this is what I wanted, and then you start questioning, if that's what's it. And so there's a lack of community, and then there's a stuckness. And what else? What else did you feel, or um,
Uncertainty, not really
uncertain?
knowing what was going to happen, not really knowing what to do next. I think that I like that you use the word conditioned. I had been so conditioned, and I had on my blinders of once I graduate, I'm going to college. Like I didn't even consider the fact that there were other options for me or think about whether or not I even want to be in college. And that's a big issue for a lot of people. I feel like there's a lot of kids who go to college just because that's what they think they're supposed to do. Or there are people who are being told like they're being called lazy or saying like, you need to get off the couch, you need to get a job. And it's like some of us just really don't know what we want to do. And going through the younger education levels, they don't really give you clarity on who you are as a person. They more so teach you how to enter a hamster wheel. And so
Yep.
I think that was my moment of leaving the hamster wheel and being like, no, you will no longer control me. I will create the life that I want.
I will create the life that I want. So, eternity, I think this is a great moment for you to drop in the link for people to look at your event. Or let me find it, or you can send it to me so that we can let people start looking at this event, because uh, eternity is going to come and do a Zoom tomorrow at 7 o'clock Central Time, and it's called Dare to Be Audacious, right? Dare to be
Dare to
audacious.
dream audaciously.
Dare to dream audaciously. Sorry about that. Dare to
You're
dream
good.
audaciously. Do you? Oh, I have it. I just pulled it up because I have it in my links on my computer. I'm gonna drop this link in the chat right now. I would love for everyone who's watching now to just take a look at it, and then also for people who see this later, check that link out and get yourself registered. It is a great opportunity for you to just spend a little time with eternity, hear the story. If you are feeling like you have a lack of community, if you are feeling uncertainty, questioning, and stuck, this is where you belong tomorrow at 7 o'clock to spend some time with us, with eternity. And you're going to hear more about her story. And one thing about it is, if you are a multifaceted person, a lot of people want to put you in a box and tell you that the way to go is the way they said you needed to go, instead of asking you where you want to go and how you want to do it. And as a multifaceted person, you can do many things at the same time. Like, it's okay to explore all the things and not just keep yourself in a particular space. So if you are questioning, if you're questioning, if you just, wake up at night questioning about your path, then it's probably a good idea to just spend a little time with Eternity. She's going to just chat with you a little bit about it and invite you to some things, invite you to a community, invite you to um, a pathway of getting to know yourself better. But Eternity, tell us more about. Um, so you were feeling a lack of community, you were feeling stuck and uncertainty. So what was that breaking point that caused you to get past this? What is it that happened or said when you knew that, you know what, I'm on the upswing now?
Honestly, I was at my job and one of the coworkers I had, she told me she took algebra 3 times in high school and she did not pass. And that was such a awakening moment for me, an eye-opening moment for me because I just told you, I was very intelligent, I was very smart. Everybody had me on this dedicated path, and I was like, I'm sitting here making $11 an hour with somebody who can't pass algebra. And although she's a sweetheart, I know this is not where I belong. This is not where God wanted me to be, and this is not where I want to be. And from then on, I started implementing a lot of different things to change that. I wanted to dive more into who I am. I came up with something I had. It has a name now, and now it's got the glad philosophy. But then it was just me throwing things at the wall and seeing what stuck. Different things like affirmations and journaling and a couple other things that I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But it was just a lot of self reflection, sitting with myself, understanding myself, and doing the hard things of facing my emotions.
Oh, doing the hard thing of facing your emotions. Do you feel like um, you knew to do that when you were in the middle of all that was happening? Did you, or did you, what did you do in instead of facing your emotions? What did you do?
Well, first, before I started facing my emotions, I was working a lot. I had 3 jobs, I had an internship, and I was volunteering, and I was doing all that at the same time. Like, I would work all those jobs in the same day sometime and still come home and have to do a couple of things for my internships. I just was really putting a lot of energy towards making money, make the money, make the money, make the money, because I was no longer in school. So I no longer had a dorm. I had an apartment and I wasn't getting help paying for my rent. I had to pay for my rent. I had to apply for food stamps. Like, I was on EBT. in the kitchen trying to cook and then also work and figure things out. I ended up getting a car accident. I lost my car. Like it was just so many things that I had encountered during that time that I didn't know what to do, but I knew I had to do something.
And so just to kind of let you all know more about me, I am a licensed professional counselor and a business execution coach, as well as a certified positive intelligence coach. And what happens is, especially if you are a multifaceted woman out there, the first thing you want to do is get busy doing something. So you're numbing yourself out and not feeling your feelings. So if you're someone out there who you're running around doing many things in order to not feel, or you don't even recognize that that's what you're doing. You're just doing a lot. And you have all these people that say, slow down, don't do all that. But then they're not giving you any options on what to do. They're just telling you not to do. This space and this time is eternity to help you. With eternity is to not help you, but just help let you know that you can still be multifaceted and do all the things, but do all the things strategically instead of running yourself down and getting burnt out. Right?
Yes, I used to go through a lot of cycles of burnout. Actually, when I encountered my coworker who had said that I think I started therapy right around that time. My therapist made me start journaling. And through journaling, I started to notice the cycle of my burnouts. Because at first I was just doing it and not noticing. And I realized that I had a pattern of working really, really hard, like doing long shifts. I'm up late, I'm going to sleep late, I'm waking up early, I'm putting all my energy into whatever I'm working on at the time. And once she made me start journaling, I started realizing when I would read back, like, you were doing good for 2 months and then you crashed. You didn't do nothing for a month. You barely could. You didn't even want to see the sun. And I starting to realize like that's not healthy. That's not how I want to live my life. I want to live a life I don't have to take a vacation from. I want to live a life that includes
Yes.
that is the vacation.
That's beautiful. And so that's something that you will gain from having a community, someone that's going to be understanding you in the particular ways that you move, and so they can recognize the patterns because they also have those patterns, and they can enlist you can enlist support around you instead of doing all the things. You'll learn how to be strategic about yourself. But another thing that's important here is, with a person who is multifaceted, it's important for you to have entrepreneurial skills, because it's not about necessarily building a business. It's about knowing how to pivot, how to take risk, how to be resourceful. There's skill set here that's important as a multifaceted person that entrepreneurs have, right? So tell us more about your community, um, Eternity, or anything that you feel that we need to make sure that multifaceted people are listening, and they should be coming to this webinar. What do you want to say to them?
I really want to emphasize the importance of values. I personally have three really big values. Now it's four after my therapy session the other day. It was originally family, freedom, and flexibility, but now I've also added faith. Because without my faith, I wouldn't be anywhere. But I think that every decision I make is rooted in those four things, and it allows my trajectory to go towards the dream life that I want. And I think that in order for you to build an empire that's purpose driven, especially as a multifaceted Black woman, I have to build something that I care about in order for me to fully give myself in, or at least I need to have some, I like to have some connection to the work that I'm doing so that I can give as much as possible from my overflow and not just give a little. I don't want to half-ass it. I want to give as much as I can. And so knowing your values, understanding who you are, and then tying those together to begin your purpose driven empire is something that I really like to emphasize and that I really hope to help so many women who are maybe listening to this today with the reaching, accomplishing.
Exactly. And I I mean for anyone that's listening and for anyone that's going to see this do this replay, please put hashtag replay. Reach out to Eternity or myself to ask any questions. You're not alone. The one reason why I'm here with Eternity is uh, it was not until I was 38, I believe, or maybe 38, that I met a mentor that acknowledged and appreciated and reminded me that it was okay to be multifaceted. It was okay to have all these things. And she also helped me to see that you can have all these things, but there's a way to manage it all and still do it all. Um, and not burn out and have your mental health and have your rest and have your friends and have a full life without without not doing that. Like, it's okay to be. So for anybody out there right now who has felt like they've been in a box, people want them to niche down, people want them to be, to be in this box. Anybody out there, we want to let you know it's okay here to be multifaceted. It's okay to have many ideas about all the things you want to do. And you may have people saying, but this, and why not this? And why not this? And why don't you just go get you a job? Or why don't you just blah, blah, blah? Or why don't you, yes.
Because let's talk about it. I had so many people telling me not to start a business, especially when I was like in college still. They're like, no, don't start a business. You need to go get you a job. And that's going to teach you what you need to know. And I do think that 9 to 5s are important. I do think that those jobs are meant for some people, but I know that I am not built for that life. That's not the life that God created for me. He might have created it for me to, in a year from now or a little while. But at that time, I was still in college, and that's the best time to take advantage of every single resource that you have. That's when you can get the most people to answer your emails. That's when people actually want to help you, is when you're in college and you're trying to do something with yourself. And people, oh, I don't even want to go there. But yes, do it scared. Don't be afraid and go for it.
And that's exactly what we're here to say, but also welcome you to a community of people who understand that you're going to have naysayers in your life. You're going to have people who are going to tell you stuff. I mean, I'll give y'all an example. Okay. So within the past 3 years, I've moved from Nashville, Tennessee to Tulsa, Oklahoma, built out a retreat space that I wanted for myself. I just had on a 5-year, not a 5-year, a 5-phase program, phase thing, and then end up getting ultimately the outcome of really what I wanted was to have a retreat space. And now I've moved to Rochester. It's because I decided I wanted, but 3 years ago, nobody would have, it wasn't even something to do. It's just that I said to myself, I wanted it, and I didn't let anybody tell me otherwise. Now everybody's like, oh, you're moving your daughter across the country. What does she think about that? And oh, what do you think? Are you going to homeschool her? You are going, like, oh, you about to move to Rochester? It's going to be so cold. I got here to Rochester yesterday. It was 53 degrees. Okay, listen, the life that you want, you can have whatever you want. But when you have a lot of people around you telling you what you can't have, that conflict, you're feeling that, and it's taking you away from the fullness of the life that you are imagining. So everything that you have, the stops usually, right, it's because somebody has said and put a bug in your ear or influenced you differently than for you to be delusional and audacious, right?
Okay.
Do you.
Come on, Glad.
Come on, glad. Okay. And glad, which is what? Gratitude, right? Gratitude,
Gratitude, logistics, audacity or action, and gratitude. I mean, delusion. I
delusion.
can't speak.
And
Yes.
so that's the philosophy that you're going to learn hanging out with us, like in this community, and that you can, I mean, anything you want. But we want to also show you how to do it so that you don't have a traffic jam on the way to your vision. Like you have a full vision of all that you have been able to accomplish down the road. But we need you to, if all those missions can be stopped up because you got one mission that has a flat tire, one don't have a windshield wipers, it's about to rain, one don't have, needs a oil change, like all these things. You don't need a blockage on the streets. You have to strategically move them. But the first step is you got to know yourself, because nobody can tell you about who you are and what you can do if you are clear on who you are. Nobody can tell you. And that's one of the first things you're going to be interacting with in this community is you're going to have women who know themselves, and nobody's going to be able to tell them anything because they know themselves. That's one of the first things, right? Eternity. I know that you're working on knowing yourself every day. Tell us more about that. Tell us more about how you got to the GLAD philosophy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it started with that therapy appointment where the therapist was telling me to start writing down what I was going through, writing down what I was feeling. And I started incorporating that into my daily life, but just like waking up and doing a brain dump. I don't even really call it journaling most of the time. I just call it a brain dump because I don't care what's on my mind, I'm gonna get it out. Sometimes it's one word. I think one day I woke up and I just wrote some profanity. Like I wrote one word and that was it. That was my whole journal for the day because that's how I felt that day. And that was okay with me.
Girl, I got
I always
some.
make sure I
I
date
have
it.
one in here. That's so funny. I got one journal entry was, I worked myself too hard, was my journal entry. Next day,
That's real.
I fell on the ground outside. So a lot of times we make things harder than they have to be. You don't have to. You don't have to do it all at that very moment. You'll get it done. Or how about, which is my affirmation, how about you let everything for your thriving flow to you? Because it will.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
think
sorry,
the
I
next
cut
thing
you
I
off.
did, no, you're good. You're good. That was a great example. I think the next thing that I did was I started learning about affirmations and the power of speech. And I started writing my affirmations on. I took this from my mom. It's like this little book full of paper, and at the bottom, each day they have a quote. And so I take a sheet of from there and I write down like 3 to 4 affirmations each month, and tape it to my mirror in the bathroom. I've been doing this for like 2, 3 years. I tape it to the mirror in the bathroom and I say those affirmations every morning and I switch them out every month. Because I'd be too busy to switch them out every day. Some people switch their affirmations every day, and I can't say the same thing all year long. So the good cadence for me was every month I come up with a new set of affirmations that matches what I was journaling about or matches what I'm going through in my life so that I can begin to train my brain to make decisions to get me out of whatever it is. So first, I'm journaling, I'm figuring out what's going on with me. I'm reading my journal, I'm reflecting on what's going on, and then I'm writing these affirmations of things that are going to get me to the next level, things that are going to get me out of the situation that I'm in, and I'm saying them every morning. Those are the first two things that I did that really helped me out. And then the next thing was I started building my spirituality. I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm religious, but I do believe that there's a higher being, and I started talking to him, trying to figure out what I truly believe, what I was thinking, instead of relying on things that my parents may have taught me, or things that my grandmother, rest in heaven, may have taught me, and starting to figure it out for myself of what I truly believe, what I think is going on. And so I started incorporating that into my journaling. So now I do my journal first, and then I take a Bible scripture and I read that, and then I pray. I pray to God about what is going to happen to me. I ask questions and I listen for the answer. I think that's a piece that a lot of people miss. They're asking these questions and they're trying to
Ooh.
rush the answer, but you have to wait and you have to listen when it comes.
Yep.
I can give an example of that. Literally last week, I was listening to a couple of different podcasts. I listened to Tabitha Brown and Keith Lee, and they were talking with Shannon Sharp on their interviews, and they were saying how they didn't know that they were going to be as big as they are now. They just was getting on there and they were listening to what they were being told, and I realized I was being told something too. Like, I was listening to these videos, but I could also hear it in the back of my mind. Somebody is like, "You need to build your audience. You need to build your audience. You have the plan. You need the platform." And so that was what I started doing. That same day, I started posting again. I started getting back into content because I actually do really enjoy posting. I like talking to people. I like building a community, but it's hard to build a community if you don't want to talk. It's hard to get people to be around you if you don't want to tell your story. They don't know who you are. They don't know what you got going on. And if you're not sharing that, you're not building that audience, how are you going to get there? But if I wouldn't have been journaling about it, if I wouldn't have been asking my God these questions and listening for the answer, I would have never known to do that next.
Awesome. Absolutely amazing. I have dropped the link for you all there for you to get it. It's a actually I made it a short link for you. So it's bit.ly/eternity dare to dream. And it's the number 2. And so eternity, tell us about the benefits of your community. Also, tell us about when and how often you'll be doing these webinars.
Yeah, so with the webinars first, I want to start doing these every month, just holding space for people and giving them some tips and tricks to be able to move from chaos to clarity. And then for the community, in order to get in a community, you have to go through this chaos to clarity cohort first. You want to make sure that we're setting a good foundation for you before you start getting to everything else. And so during that program, we're going to have group sessions, we're going to have accountability pods, we're going to have one-on-one coaching so that you're not only getting the group atmosphere of learning together in community, but you're also getting that individualized attention, a little bit of hand holding to make sure that you're getting the answers that you need and not just the answers that are very generic that fit everybody. We know that, especially as a multifaceted woman, you need something individualized. You need something that works for you. Like, there's so many templates out here, but those templates might not work for you.
Oh my word. You just said something that's so important. Do you know how many times we tried to go through something, and if it's not personalized, it has to be personalized.
Yeah.
What you're going to get is your plan, your pathway. And we're going to respect that pathway that you have decided for yourself. And it's so much easier for you to buy into your own pathway instead of something somebody said this is the way to do it. Because like, and a lot of programs and cohorts and stuff, they have a low retention rate because you're telling somebody specifically to do this way, and they have to be somebody who follows along. But if you're a multifaceted person, that's not you always thinking about how you can make this better, or why am I doing this, or I could be doing something else, right? Like that. That's always been my thing. Like, I've been through lots of programs, and I'm sitting there thinking about how this professor or teacher or whatever is trash, and I wish I just had an individual person to interact with me because I'm different. Because I mean, Even I had a mentor. She told me, "You're the first mentee I ever had that I had to tell you to slow down, hold up, wait a minute, let's do it this way." And I had to stop messing with her because I said, "You're not moving with me. Move with me."
Not you moving faster than the mentor. My mentee will never tell
I'm
you
always
that.
moving,
Uh,
I'm always moving faster than everybody else. I think it goes back to a agreement I made myself when I was like in second grade about my movement. So
I love
yes,
that.
go ahead. Tell us about. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Tell us about more about what the community's like and the benefits of interacting with us.
Yeah, so another difference, I know you were saying like a lot of those cohorts and courses they move real slow. I think another big thing for me is that I hate sitting in a class and there's no interaction. I hate just sitting and listening to somebody talk because, in my opinion, people talk slow. They talk really slow and my brain is moving really fast. Even when I watch YouTube, a lot of times I put it on 2 times speed or 1.5 speed because I need you to talk at the speed my brain is moving or I'm gonna get bored. And so we weaved into the group sessions, most of it being interactive exercising. Most of it is you actually doing the work. It's not so much of me standing there and yapping at you about who I am and my story and da da da. That's what my webinar is for. My webinar is for you to come learn about me and for me to give you these nice little snippets, these nice tips that are going to get you moving. But in this cohort, oh, we're action. We're putting pedal to the metal. We're making things happen. You're getting homework. You're not just coming here to play. We're coming here to get things done. We are very intentional on building these empires because at the end of the day, who wouldn't want their own empire? I know me personally, I want me to have a purpose driven empire. I want everything I do to be intentional, everything I do to be rooted in family, freedom, flexibility, and faith. So yeah, we want to help aspiring entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs. We want to make sure that you have a business plan that you can utilize. We want to get you connected with these marketing classes that are out here. We want to get you with the banking. We want you set up well to be able to do your finances so you're
Well,
not
yeah,
getting in
I mean,
trouble.
but I think the first thing that we need to make sure people know is we're going to put you in a situation where you have a community. You feel like you are moving and not stuck. And lastly, there is clarity on your direction. And then you have people around you who will continue to shine the light on where you're going based on what you said that you're about. Going back, eternity keeps saying, these are my values. It is important to base everything you're doing, your boundaries, your code of conduct, your movement, just thinking about every decision you make. Is it in line with your values? A lot of people aren't doing that. Building out visions, building out your mission, building out everything based on your values, because even when you are feeling some other type of way about or going through something mentally or whatever, you can bring yourself back to your values, then you can definitely move back to where you need to go, because we're always recalibrating back to where we need to go. So, yes, that's the very first thing. I think that's the most important thing here, is that we want you to know that we can take you anywhere, and you as a multifaceted person can take yourself in many places. You just need to make sure that you have around you a system, a support system that says, fly, do it. You can do it. We're here. Be audacious, be delusional. Hold on to yourself, hold
And
on to your affirmations, hold on to your gratitude, and you got this.
yeah, and I also want to hit on you were saying like your mission statement, your vision statement. I know a lot of people think like, oh, for the business. No, for you
No.
as a person. Another big thing in this group is that we're teaching you that there is an interconnectedness between who you are as a person and the life you're living and this business that you're building. That's why I keep saying a purpose driven empire and not just let's build a business. We're not building a small business here. We're building your life. We're creating a life that you want. based in your values, based in your purpose. And that's where that chaos of you not knowing the direction, you not knowing what the end goal is, we gonna help you get rid of all of that chaos and turn it into a clear path with flexibility, which is why that's one of my values of being able to adapt to the situations. Because you might think you have your plan, and then something happens in life. For me, I lost my grandmother a couple months ago. That was something that kind of detoured me, but now I'm back because I was able to be flexible. I was able to adapt to the situations around me to end at my end goal.
Definitely. And so again, the link for the webinar is right there. You right up there on the screen. Dare to dream audaciously. Build your purpose driven empire. And here is also, it's going to be tomorrow, the 12th at 7 p.m. Central Time. 7 p.m. Central Time. So go ahead and get yourself registered. Come on in. This is a free webinar, okay? And Eternity is going to come monthly and chat with you. So you're not able to come to this one, we'll be back. We'll be chatting. You'll see marketing going out. Go ahead and connect with Eternity. How can they connect with you, Eternity? So then they can just be connected if they want to learn more about other things that you have going on, or your webinars for the next months.
Yes, you can find me at most platforms at Living with E. On Instagram is Living with E underscore. LinkedIn is Eternity Sledge. Facebook is Eternity Sledge. I'm literally everywhere. You can find me anywhere. You could also reach out to me through email. Huh?
Is this Living with E like this?
Without a G. No G.
Okay.
But yes, at Living with E, LIVINWITHE, or you can email me at eternity at multifacetedcollective.com to get in contact with me, and we could talk a little bit more about what's going on with you and see what sources we got to help you out, see where I can get you fit in, get you connected, and help you build that purpose driven empire.
And so yes, remember, go ahead and get yourself registered. The webinar is tomorrow. Go to bit.ly, bit.ly/eternity dare number 2 dream. You all, thank you so much. Is there any closing remarks that you would like to say, Eternity, before we leave? And you all just stay connected. But is there any closing remarks?
Yes. So my affirmation for 2024 was I am a change maker creating the life I want. But we have a new year coming. And so the new affirmation that I want to share with everybody that I will be saying a lot more is I am creating a life of abundance, flexibility, and fulfillment, one intentional step at a time.
Ooh, okay. Wow, awesome. Amazing. I like that a lot. So you all stay connected and message us, or you can put hashtag replay. Any questions that you have about this? Again, it is bit.ly, bit.ly/eternity dream dare, the number 2 dream. Dare to dream. Eternity, dare to dream. Go on over there and get yourself registered for the webinar and spend a little time with Eternity and I. We're going to chat a little bit. You're going to hear her story, and we're going to have a very nice interactive time together to learn more and to kind of go ahead and kind of knock out some of that uncertainty and help you to feel like you're in the community, and to help you with that and to get unstuck. Okay. All right. You all create a thriving rest of your day. Bye.